Hello again, my friends. It's a beautiful spring day here today, and I emphasise beautiful because we've had some terrible, wild, windy spring days. This month of November, we're talking about the choices we make. And Kim, who's sitting on the other end of this camera filming me, tells me it's an easy thing to talk about. Choices we make are easy. It's what happens afterwards is difficult. And of course he's right. I want to start though with a little thought. I said the choices we make. This morning's liturgy, let me just say this, let me begin with this. This very morning, this is what our gospel reading started with, from Luke. Some Pharisees came up to Jesus, that was interesting anyway. "Go away," they said, "leave this place, because Herod means to kill you." Jesus replied, "You must go and give that fox this message. Learn that today and tomorrow I cast out devils, and on the third day I achieve my end. But for today and tomorrow and the next day I must go on, since it is not right for a prophet to die outside Jerusalem." A couple of years before, Jesus had made his choice when he was baptized. He's made his choice to spread the fire of God's love on earth until the whole of the world was on fire with God's love. And manipulation and violence and wars were burned out. That was his choice, and he was sticking to it. Pretty marvellous, isn't it? The thing is, and he had no bones about standing tall in it. He even called Herod a fox. It's wonderful, isn't it? What a lovely adjective to use. As I see it, the thing is that it's not so much choices we make, I think. It's choices we take. And my friends, there's a subtle difference. Different language always gives a slightly different nuance, slightly different take on a thing. And I got that idea from a lovely book I'm just reading at the moment. Just hold this up to you. It's called Every Day in Tuscany. It's about a woman called Frances Mays, who, this is a true story, who went from the United States and fell in love with Italy, and especially Tuscany, and especially fell in love with a beautiful villa there. And 20 years on, she's reflecting on that. And she talks about that choice, and she says, "I fell in love with the place, but it wasn't so much that I made a choice. I took a choice. I take a choice, which means that if it goes wrong, I've got the freedom to look at something different." And I think that's quite important. You know, all around us, we have sayings like, we think, I couldn't do anything else. I had no other choice. I found myself between a rock and a hard place. There was nothing I could do. And so often that's true. But if we open our mindset and think about the choice that we have made as being something that we have taken, then maybe we can think of it anew. And even if we can't change the direction, as Christ couldn't change his direction, even if we can't do that, we can maybe deal with it in a more open and kind of resigned sort of way. When this village where I live, when that around me developed into a rest home, I at the time made the choice to stay in this apartment. I now realise I am taking the choice to stay here, which frees my mind and my heart to enjoy what's best about it and get on with what is not good about it. I think that's the message I'm trying to convey. I'd like to conclude these little random thoughts with a bit of humour. A delightful story from my young days with Winnie the Pooh. Did you grow up on Winnie the Pooh as I did? That wonderful, wise and stupid bear is the most wonderful character of our childhood was Winnie the Pooh. And on one occasion, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go to see Rabbit, and Rabbit's in his burrow, of course. So they have a lovely big afternoon tea of all the cream cakes and honey that Pooh loves so much. And when he comes to go out of the burrow, he gets stuck. So his head is out of the burrow, and the rest of his body is stuck in it. So it takes a long, long time for them to free Pooh, because he's very rotund. And so what happens? They make the best of it. So Rabbit hangs his washing on the south end of Pooh. That's his paws. So Rabbit dries his washing on Pooh's paws while they're hanging in there. And Owl at the top end of Pooh, where his head is, reads him all these very erudite stories that Owl does. So in other words, they're using the situation to the best of their advantage. It's a wonderful story. It's both funny and it's got a great message for us. The choices we make are better described, I think, as the choices we take. And if they are irreversible, find ways of making them to the best advantage for ourselves and for the mission of Christ in our world, for the evangelization of others. Thanks for being with me today. God bless, and go with your God.